Bing bong.
How has the Arizona Cardinals offensive line played this year? What their offensive coordinator tells you may surprise you. Plus, taking a look at the 2026 NFL quarterback class, Johnny.
Yeah, it's never too early. Plus, Bo and I are going to do trending up, trending down, and the very latest on Walter Nolen, Max Melton, and more ahead of a key matchup in division. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. You know, all the friends we can get these days. The PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, number one in the world, Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. Of course, he is Bo Brack. Home studio setup. We got Noah Man behind the mic today. A lot of people angry in this community, but our community here, we're ready to rock and roll, Bo.
Absolutely. Like water off a duck's back. We are not going to get too furious to where we can't just have a good conversation with each other. Like our friends here, Jules, Felix, Deb, what's going on? Darth Vader sending a nice little selfie wearing his Cardinals shirt the other day. ZT Torres, I see you. Arizona Cardinals does not like how low I am. I'll get myself boosted up here. Shaff in the chat, as always. Bonnie Brockable, Alberto, how we doing? Michael Evans, Cameron, Tony, everybody out there wanting to hear the latest on their favorite team that likes to rip their heart out of their chest cavity each and every weekend, Johnny. And of course, it's brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Never ordinary. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Bet just $5, and you can get $200 in bonus bets.
Need to borrow my booster seat? What's the deal?
There we go.
My big boy booster?
There I am.
There you are.
Way
there you are, friend. Hello,
bigger
friend.
Man than you are.
Listen, we're going to get into some heavy stuff again today, okay?
Yeah.
If you think we're going to be fun and funny and charming, you are correct, but also, and handsome, this team right now, I don't like what they're saying. I don't like the vibes they're putting out. I don't like when people talk. And so we're going to be prepared for some rage bait. We're gonna have a new segment on the show called Rage Baiting.
Yeah,
we're only just gonna play JG and Ren Petzing presser clips from this point, Bo.
I mean, my biggest, I guess, advice to anybody out there is don't watch the pressers, right? Do not watch the press conferences, friends. Do yourself a favor. Get away from the internet for like 20 minutes each day. Do not subject yourself to that. Actually, just mute me on Twitter. Do yourself a favor. You will feel better.
Don't unfollow, Bo.
Yeah. Unfollow me.
Don't unfollow.
Yes, do all those things because your life for the next 8 weeks will probably improve because listening to the things that are coming out of those press conferences, they can't help. They just can't be helpful.
It's a bad scene. We had one good week when they shellacked the Dallas Cowboys, which was great. You know, none of us declared them officially back, but the vibes were good. That Seahawks loss, that's got a stench on it that I'm not even sure a win can wash out. The offensive line has been a point of contention all year. It has been very disappointing. It's been probably the most disappointing unit on the team. And for that to happen, you have to have what? You have to have expectations, right? The Kingsbury years, I would say the offensive line was hit or miss, right? There were times where it looked good. There were times where it was effective. Then there were times, toward the end of Cliff's tenure, it wasn't very good. And they basically had to start over. And what we saw with this unit, 2023, 2024, was a unit that was well coached. They had some homegrown talent, They had some talent that was undervalued by other teams. They had some high-priced free agents. All of it worked. There was never a time, save for, maybe the 2 Seattle games, coincidentally, last year, where, Bo, you and I were like, man, the offensive line just doesn't look very good today.
Yeah.
It was unequivocally, go back, check the receipts, check our graphics, check our rankings. Bo and I consistently in the camp, that's the best unit on the team. So now we fast forward and suddenly, same players, same personnel, the year of our football Lord 2025, and it is unequivocally the biggest disappointment on the team. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's playing. They have better depth, I would argue. They've got players that should be blossoming now. Mm-hmm. And you've got Drew Petzing with a straight face telling everybody in this fan base after that performance on Sunday that it is not regressed. I mean, like, it's hard to fathom an answer that poorly constructed.
Well, let's go to the tape. As much as I just told you, don't watch press conferences, we're going to subject you to about 24 seconds of Drew Petzing answering Deo Mackey's question. Does he see a regression in the Cardinals offensive line?
I wouldn't say that. I think they're playing hard. I think we've played some really good fronts. I think the communication has been good. I think at times, you're losing one-on-ones in critical situations, which is hurting us. And certainly we need to evaluate how and why that's happening and try to clean that up. But I think those guys play extremely hard. I think they play well together. I think they're doing everything they can to win games.
Okay, I have a lot of issues with that, Bo. You go, give me your assessment of that initially.
Yeah, I feel like it's just coach speak. That's really all that is. And that's what we're going to caution everybody going forward, that there is a whole lot of coach speak matched with poor results, non-competitive performances. It's going to have a lot of eye rolling. Now, I know you've got a little bit more of I guess, severe take on it. And I'll listen to that. I understand. Yeah. As you go De Niro on me. De Niro face. So yeah, I mean, like, just me posting that on Twitter, I know that it's inspired more of a disgust from the fan base. And absolutely, I think that I can see that position. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt that this offensive line has regressed. I'm going to let you talk, and then we'll get into this more as a conversation.
The comment about we're losing a lot of one-on-one battles, I think that insinuates that it's maybe on the players. I don't love that. Maybe I'm the only person reading that. I also look at that when I see 3 people trying to block Leonard Williams. That's not one-on-one. That's 3-on-1, my man. That is coaching. Somebody posted a clip of Jonah Williams trying to block Micah Parsons, and his technique was terrible. Mm-hmm. The fundamentals of this offensive line have the bed. It is a sieve of a unit. As promising of the unit was the prior 2 years, I think we can notch it up as this unit succeeded because of elite level offensive line coaching that no longer is present within the franchise. And this is a coaching league. That's it. You need talented players, but what hurts me the most is we have seen it now. You can't argue it, can't dispute it. The Cardinals had an A+ offensive line coach that elevated one of their most important units on the team. They allowed him to leave, and they are one of the worst offensive lines as a result. And the coordinator that you chose over potentially promoting Clayton Adams cannot fix it. If they could fix it, they would have done it already. What are you going to do? Blow up the entire offensive line? You're going to get rid of everybody? Jonah Williams is a movable piece, but like, I don't want to sit here and flush the toilet on Isaiah Adams, who looked good last year, that suddenly can't play. Mm-hmm. Why is Yelda Froholtz suddenly the worst of his 3 years with the Arizona Cardinals? Did Yelda Froholtz suddenly become ass as a player? He's one of the best centers in the NFL the last 2 years. PFF had him as a top 7 center. He can't play now. Why can't he play? As well as he is, as strong of a player as he is, he needs coaching. He's not getting it. Yeah. So if you want an indictment, I know we come on here a lot. I'm an advocate of this, of change on the offensive side. The biggest malpractice that's going on with this franchise is you're seeing the same mistakes week after week. The Seahawks clearly saw it on tape too, and the Cardinals can't and won't correct it. They don't know how. You've got, I think it was Cam Cox who posted on Twitter this afternoon that he rewatched the game. Our friend of the program, Channel 12, Cam Cox, said that the Cardinals offensive line, I'm paraphrasing, was so out of sorts, and the Seahawks took firm advantage. It's like you had a finely tuned like string quartet on the Seahawk defensive line, and the Cardinals, playing a guitar on a street corner. That was the comparison of the two units. No disrespect if you do that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I just feel like the coaching up front, I mean, we like Justin Frye. He's been on the show, blah, blah, blah. Not good enough. In fact, it's terrible.
Yeah, he seems overmatched, right? He looks like a college coach trying to find his way at the NFL level. I think that's the biggest issue. I think there are a ton of variables that go into it, not to have like a too nuanced conversation, because I think it does come down to mostly coaching. But, Kyler Murray did also remedy a lot of those issues. I see that, and I agree with that.
Sure, I think that's fair.
I think more into it. And I asked Drew Petzing about it, like the approach, the philosophy, as far as Jacoby Brissett back there now and their willingness to face pressure. And he gave me this answer.
Absolutely. I think and when you're emphasizing the passing game more, and those go kind of hand in hand, you're that number will uptick a little bit, but if you can uptick the explosive plays and the points, you feel like it's worth it. If that's not the case, then you got to reevaluate how you're doing it and why you're doing it.
And they had to do that obviously with personnel. But no, I understand the outrage, because much like the team overall, I think the offensive line follows suit with this, or kind of encapsulates it with where you had these expectations for it. You saw the progress, you saw the development, maturation over 2 years, and then it completely falls on its face.
Yeah.
And it does regress. And you've got these players that you trusted now that you can no longer trust. I don't think Jonah Williams falls into that, but I think the guys you mentioned, Elder Froholt, who is a captain on this team, Paris Johnson Jr., who's the only productive offensive lineman, could be a captain. He's one of the leaders on this team, regardless if he wears the C on his chest. But you're seeing this being the biggest liability as far as the Arizona Cardinals in 2025 have. And it's a big issue. And it's as far as the current season goes, where are any of when they talk about trying to find answers, where can you find an answer on the fly? There aren't a whole lot of solutions there, especially at right tackle, the interior. It's just a mess. Byron Murphy II, the first round pick from the Seahawks in 2024, he said Jacoby Brissett, he described him as a sitting duck. He said he was just a sitting duck back there. It was just a matter of time to when they met at the quarterback and they were going to take out poor Jacoby Brissett like they did. And then, of course, what you thought you knew to be true about this Cardinals offense, along with the offensive line, is that run game that's vanished from the very kickoff of the 2025 season. So those are all the variables that play into it. And that's why I think a lot of people, they feel like it was a disingenuous answer. They felt like it was just BS, snake oil, coach speak bullcrap.
Take accountability, man. All these guys.
Well, I thought it was interesting, like the different answers we were getting today, and you get it from different sides of the football. And Rallis, I think he's obviously feeling the pressure as well. His group, the defensive line had a tough time on Sunday. But the answers from Rallis, just hear Rallis talk about this play breakdown where it was 67 yards to Cooper Kupp and how he answers the question.
A lot of bad things, to be honest. Bad things in coverage, from the beginning. There's actually some really good things. We kind of accomplished early in the down what we wanted. The rush wasn't synced up. We didn't do our job there. We didn't do our job in the back end, and then we didn't plaster when it broke down correctly, and then we missed tackles, and a lot of bad things happened on that play.
So a lot of humanity in that response. There's some humility, there's some levity, but there is taking accountability. You get all the things. And it's like a great presser doesn't make a great coach. But I think when times are tough and people are down, I mean, like the perception of you and how you present yourself off of whatever that massacre was on Sunday, I think that does matter. And like I think about, Bo, the fact that we used to go into games thinking that this coaching staff would give this team an advantage. It's hard to feel that way anymore, especially in the West. I mean, like you can make an argument. We've talked about it. Like their most valuable asset coming into the season, you and I were on record, it was Jonathan Gannon. And then, his ability to bring in a Justin Frye on the fly, right? And like, I think you and I took the Clayton Adams loss, in hindsight, has not aged well, as like, this is a promotion. This is what happens when you coach under JG. You're going to get promoted, Shanahan style. And that we want the Cardinals to be known for that, because that way good candidates will come here. Well, we're fast forwarding now, right before Thanksgiving, and we're questioning who's going to take this OC job when they inevitably allow Drew Petzing's contract to expire. And a lot can change over the course of 4 or 5 months. Justin Frye was one of the hottest offensive line coach candidates in the NFL. He had multiple inquiries. The Bears wanted to hire him, a bunch of teams. Cardinals got him, right? So, I mean, do we expect a drop-off to some extent? I think so. But we also thought, well, the talent is there. I loved the youth and the athleticism that they had at several positions. They had multiple tight ends. And it's like, okay, great. For the people that are arguing that this is a skilled player issue, I'm with you from a Kyler Murray standpoint. Kyler's going to run out of those sacks, or some of those sacks that Jacoby doesn't. But we've had this conversation, but you're not going to get the elongated passing plays as a result, right? That was the trade-off. Kyler Murray out of the pocket scrambles, maybe checks it down, 3 or 4 yard play. And again, maybe I don't know if it's a winning formula on Sunday, but like probably a little bit better result. James Conner was averaging 3 yards a carry before he went down this year. The offensive line has not been good. We were in Denver. The offensive line at joint practice, now it's the Broncos D-line, got smoked. They got their asses smoked that entire practice. Kyler Murray was running for his life. This is a huge fundamental issue of coaching malpractice, mistakes not being corrected, which tells you one thing. Got the wrong people in the building right now. You don't have people that can correct this. You need an established play caller, infrastructure with people underneath that said play caller that can fix this. And if Jonathan Gannon's the man to pick that person out, we'll support that. But right now, the biggest error of this year, it's not the Kyler Murray situation, how they handled it. It's not who they drafted, who they signed in free agency. The biggest issue this team has had that's led to a trickle-down effect was not retaining Clayton Adams. I don't know how you make an argument for anything but that.
And now you're, as far as your confidence, like as a draft and develop team and how they want to select and pick in the draft, you use premium draft capital on, first round tackles and guards, early day two, there's probably no confidence as far as the current staff, especially the offensive line coaching, to develop that.
Right.
This isn't like we quickly learned there's a big difference between the Big Ten and the NFC West. There's a huge difference in playing, the best that the college ranks has to offer. As far as these defensive coaches, especially defensive line coaches, are so talented and will expose you if you're not buttoned up. So it's like when you start to look towards the future, you're going to have to put somebody in place to continue the vision, the direction of this organization, to draft and develop in the trenches and be able to take guys like the Paris Johnson Juniors of the world, the Isaiah Adams at one point, and develop them into starting caliber guys. Because right now you can make the case that you maybe have 1.5, 2 starting caliber offensive linemen. The rest, they're just patchwork guys.
Well, they weren't, though. They were good
Right.
players. And that's what bothers me, because I agree with what you're saying, but not every franchise can afford 5 first-round linemen up front.
Sure.
This is the NFL. Most teams, it looks like this. But what's the difference? People who know their you-know-what get production. We've seen that. Like Clayton Adams with Dallas. I know they weren't good against the Cardinals. At times this year, in a game, they had to start like 4 day 3 picks and an undrafted guy. And they won that game. It's coaching. It's 100% coaching. I'm not ready to give up Yelda Froholt. I'm not ready to give up Isaiah Adams. You want to take a first-round right tackle or second-round right tackle, I support that. You want to go sign a guard, go do that. You want to bring back Will Hernandez. I'm not going to have a problem with that. But to see, like, if their argument is, it's the talent, guys. I've seen a lot of talent come and go here and not be worth one iota because the coaching wasn't there. I mean, like, name a player for the Niners offensive line outside of Trent Williams that is a household name. Name a player for the Rams offensive line. Havenstein's fine. They've got Steve Avila, but they got elite offensive coaches. And then give credit. Seattle's developed a bunch of guys. They're getting quality play out of them. I watched Isaiah Adams, his reps, the entire offseason, one-on-ones. Hell, Jonathan Gannon made a point to talk about it unprompted. Isaiah Adams had a tremendous offseason. He dominated players at training camp. That was the Cardinals' defensive line. Take that for what it was. Had a great training camp. Got into the season raw, needed coaching and correction. Couldn't get that clearly from this staff. And they said, get me Will Hernandez, 30-plus years old, off a torn ACL. That's a failure, malpractice of coaching. It goes against everything that Austin Ford and Gannon said they were going to do. We're not going to block rookies and second and third year draft picks for older players. And I like Will. Will's out of shape coming off a torn ACL. That shouldn't be your go-to. We talked about that all offseason. That's a Steve Keim move.
Right.
But because Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury couldn't draft and develop and elevate, that was supposed to be the thing that Austin Ford and Gannon could hang their hat on.
Sure.
Well, you're not getting that with this offensive staff right now. So it's a look in the mirror season for everybody.
Yeah. Well, the things that couldn't happen. Like you suffered injuries to key players that were able to overcome, not having top-notch coaching.
Yeah.
And, your top-notch coaches who elevated pedestrian to below-average players, they're not in the building any longer. So it was a perfect crap storm that's exposing the rest of the staff. And now it's like, is there a path forward with Frye? It doesn't seem like there would be one, especially if you're going to bring in more youth and try to bulk up the talent on the O-line that direction and try to avoid the same fate as Steve Keim and kicking the tires on, over the hill offensive linemen. You can have a mix, right? You can have 1 to 2 in each and every line, but you're going to have to draft. You're going to have to continue to develop them. And they were moving forward from year 1 and 2 into year 3, that their strength was going to be a stout run game, a consistent offensive line. And both of those things have absolutely they vanished. They vanish. And where do you point to first? And I think it's justifiable is coaching. Coaching hasn't been up to snuff. Even when they didn't have the same caliber of player up and down the roster, they had coaches that were able to elevate and put yourself in a position to compete. What happened on Sunday and what happened has had far too often this season, they haven't been competitive up front.
No. And again, you think about, like, I'm concerned about more than wins now, the development of young players, and that was supposed to be prioritized. And now it's like, do you trust the people that selected these players or were a part of influencing these players to get the most out? Like, the stuff with Marv is disappointing. He didn't have a great game Sunday, and somebody posted a clip, and he's got some poor technique trying to catch a pass. Well, I mean, like, he's 22, 23 years old. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give the offensive line the benefit of the doubt because I've seen it. I haven't seen this staff as currently constructed win or do anything. I know that the Cardinals, one thing to hang their hat on offensively, walked out the door this offseason. We're going to keep breaking this down. We're going to break down trending up, trending down for this team right now. Hit that like button. We're back around the corner. It's PHNX. Man, the only thing that will do me right now is to go on a shopping spree with our friends at Rally House. Rally House, fantastic. They got locations near me here in the East Valley, Tempe Mesa. They're out in Glendale, my favorite location, right by the stadium. Load up right now. I mean, Suns are playing well. Cardinals aren't. You might be able to get some card stuff on clearance. Maybe, somebody said they had a K1 jersey on clearance. I'd pick that up. I'd cop that. Cop anything you need. Signage, coolers, socks, sunscreen, whatever you need. Jerseys, hats. They got everything. They'll have spring training jerseys before you know it. They've got Suns jerseys. They've got cards. And they, of course, got the college teams as well. They only carry Arizona sports. Every time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online, rallyhouse.com.
'Tis the season for over $80 million in prizes with our friends over at the Arizona Lottery. Love the play. Play holiday tickets from Arizona Lottery. They're holiday scratchers. It's the perfect stocking stuffer for anyone, whether you're shopping for Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it may be. Maybe your holiday party at work. This is the perfect one. White Elephant Gifts. They got 6 festive scratchers to choose from, including Cash Countdown, which is prizes up to $250,000. Candy Cane Cash, which smells like peppermint when you scratch it off. How about that? Plus, when you dash in with instant prizes with holiday fast play tickets, check them out. When it comes to holiday gifts, holiday scratchers are the best place to start. Love the play and spread the holiday cheer with holiday scratchers from the Arizona Lottery. Check them out right now. Play and gift today.
Everybody hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports. I want to highlight this very generous $50 super chat. Goes to Pat Tilley. Appreciate you, my brother. I met Otis Anderson today. Showed him a pic of his rookie card on my bedroom wall and a pic of me last month in his jersey. Great super chat. And then caps it off with fire everybody. Fire everybody. Otis Anderson, of course, St. Louis Cardinal, great. And then won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants. And goes to Pat Tilley. That's like a perfect kind of, encapsulation of our first argument. It's like sometimes it's coaching, infrastructure. Otis goes to, I know he had success here running the football, goes to the Giants, won a Super Bowl with Bill Parcells.
Can we get like 60-year-old Otis Anderson? Can we get him in the backfield? Could he be RB1 if need be? Can he go out there and average like 3.5 yards per carry? That'd be an improvement.
Yeah.
Right? Let's get a big old Otis out there. That's awesome. Goes to Pat Tilley. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. Hit that like button. Yeah, times are tough, man. And it's like when you think, hey, this is what we do well. This is our identity. And your identity vanishes as quick as game one of the season. Yeah. And then you just are kind of meddling and kind of aimlessly going through the rest of the year. And now you're through 10 weeks of play. And that continues to be the issue. And you don't know what to expect week in and week out. That's a tough scene, man, like as far as the Cardinals. And, where do they go from here? Like, how do they remedy it? And is there a path forward with this offensive coaching staff?
I think back to remember week 2 against the Panthers that they almost blew, right? And I think everybody was healthy that game. Kyler, the O-line, James Conner played in that game. It's like everybody was healthy. Didn't matter. Remember how much they got worked up front by Derek Brown? Baldy came on. Derek Brown was in the backfield the entire game.
Yeah.
It's not, does that strike you for a minute? It's like, hey, they tried to run the clock out. Remember in the second half, couldn't do it. Yeah. Soft up front. They had everybody. That was week 2. So for everybody out there and not anybody in our chat suggesting that it's not coaching and adjustments, what else can you turn to? This was a unit last year that could run on Detroit, that could run on Buffalo, that could run in Miami in the heat. We were there. That could run second half of last year. The only team they struggled with, and we brought it up in the offseason, is Seattle. They had a tough time against the Seahawks, had a little bit of success against the Rams, right? But you take that, running the ball effectively 14 out of 17 games. They are atrocious up front right now. And I'm not surprised Byron Murphy said that about Jacoby Brissett. I see people nitpicking Jacoby Brissett, holding the football too long. Well, he's a backup, guys. He's a backup who's been asked to start. He's played well. People are like, oh my God, Jacoby Brissett's holding on to the ball a little too long. Yeah, he's a conventional statue quarterback in his 30s. He's not going to be able to scramble outside the pocket and throw the football 50 yards downfield. Maybe if you had an offensive coaching staff with any sense, they would say, you know what? We got to go max protect, give Jacoby Brissett opportunity to sit back there and throw strikes. Nope, we're actually going to ISO the best pass rusher in the National Football League, who has not gone off since then. Did anybody see Micah Parsons last night? And then we're basically going to allow Micah Parsons to beat you. We're going to straight up allow Micah Parsons to steal a game from you. I mean, that's coaching.
Yeah, it costs you, right? As far as coaching wins and losses, yeah, you can take. You've had to hold too many L's, 6 to 7. And especially in these one-score games, what can be the differentiator? Guys making plays, but also setting your guys up for success. It's the ultimate frustration watching your team when you see talent that's come through that door, and in year 3 you're seeing the same results as basically the team that you saw in 2023. Not much better, 2 wins better at this point in the season. It's the ultimate point of frustration, and anybody saying otherwise, they're just being contrarian. It's really not anything beyond that.
Watch the games with your eyes. Are you watching the game with a blindfold on?
Right. They're just on the Twitter app trying.
This is what it's looked like for 2 years. What? It's the same players. It's a completely different product. And again, I'm like not naive to think like Kyler Murray escaped sacks. Of course he did.
Yeah.
That was a big part of Kyler Murray's game. But like, the offensive line has not been good the entire year. Kyler Murray played this year. O-line wasn't good this year anyway. They couldn't run the ball against the Niners. Go turn that game on.
They couldn't run the ball at full strength the first 2.5 weeks of the season. They just couldn't. They had like a 52-yard rush from Trey Benson, and that helped. And Kyler Murray supplements it with his legs as well.
No doubt about it.
But outside of that, they were not the same between the tackles. They were not picking up the dirty yardage, as JG likes to say. They were not the same. And if you can't understand that, and to where they've just become a team that is for the most part abandoned the run. Like now it's just kind of, we're just going to run. We're going to go through the motions as far as a running team and just set ourselves up. And people who complain about Jacoby, it's like, what do you think he's supposed to do when he's staring down 3rd and long almost every drive? Like, you've got to stand back there and take your hits and try to make the throw downfield. Otherwise, you're just 3 and out. You're done. You don't have a chance.
Also, to go back to Drew's comment about like we're missing or we're losing one-on-one matchups. Like, how many times did we watch that game on Sunday and like 3 unblocked people were running at Jacoby Brissett? Like, that's not there were people untouched running at Jacoby Brissett. That's called we don't have a clue what we're doing up front.
Right.
We're confused. We're guessing. And this is not an offensive line that's like got a bunch of 20-year-olds on it.
Mm-hmm.
Paris is in his 3rd year. Jonah's been in the league for forever. Evan Brown. All these guys have played hundreds of games. It is unequivocally the people pulling the strings on the offensive side. And like, I'm sorry. Like, does anybody have confidence this weekend that Drew Petzing is going to be able to outwit Robert Saleh with no players? Robert Saleh has no players this weekend. You know what side I think is going to look better? Not the Cardinals side. Nope.
Yeah. I mean, Cardinals don't exactly have the most, talent offensively outside of like Trey McBride right now.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, it's you're going to have to change that narrative this week, and you're going to have to do it just by having just a slim, just talent margin there. Our line just keeps on regressing like Johnny's height. It's a tragedy. That's not true.
I'm going to be 4 feet here pretty soon.
Yeah, no, that's not true. If anything, I think you're getting taller.
Wow, that's sweet of you to say.
We measure Johnny every time he comes in the studio. We've got it with little markings on the wall in Studio K.
Let's do some trending up, trending down. Let's do trending up, and then we'll take a break. We'll do trending down here. And then we got our quarterback rankings, which we're fired up about. Anything else you want to hit on from Mike Rallis or anybody?
Rallis was asked, I found this one interesting. Darren Urban had asked him about, the fans' perception of Darius Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And Rallis gave his 2 cents as far as how he feels about D Rob.
Yeah, I don't know in regards to if that's statistically or what, but I know he goes out there and helps us win games, and he's a huge part of this defense.
Standing up for your player.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Cardinal fans are disappointed. I mean, he's consistently one of their worst ranked PFF players. Like, he's a first round pick, so he's got one more year to kind of convince them to pick up his 5th year option. I mean, like Darius looked really good in 2 training camps, just hasn't carried over for injury and now other reasons. I do think, defensive line's a hard position to play, and it's hard to be great early. Mm-hmm. So I'm not ready to write him off. And the Cardinals have talent to supplement, but I I think Darius, to me, like last year was such a wash, and now it's like truly, we should have listened to JG in the offseason. It's truly his rookie year. I mean, there's a chance he's a much better player next year, and if he's not, then we can chalk that up as just a miss of a pick. I thought though, man, he had a floor that at least would allow him to be like solid to good.
Right.
He doesn't. When you watch 2 weeks of Walter Nolen, then you watch him. It's just not enough splash plays. There's not enough impact at the line of scrimmage.
Just looking at him statistically, the one sack, and as far as TFLs, he had against Seattle. That first game is clearly his best game as a pro. He had 2 TFLs, including a sack.
Yeah.
Outside of that, just empty columns in the box score. As far as Walter Nolen, Rallis was asked about Walter Nolen. You had an update on that we'll get to shortly, but what are you seeing from Nolen through 2 games?
He can continue to get better. He does good things for us in pass rush and the run game. So things to continue to improve on, but he can help us in every facet of the game.
So let's do some injuries, then we'll take a break. So Walter Nolen was in the 4th quarter when the game was like over, had to be helped off the field. Sounds like there's a decent chance he plays this week. So like speculation, I know we were fearful on the post-game show that he had a significant knee injury. I'm told that's not what's happening at all. And that I think worst case scenario, he's like out this week, but plays next week. But I think there's a chance. I was told there's a chance he'd play this week. So probably be limited in the next couple practices, Bo, when you're out there. But the promising sign there. So not going to go through the offseason, knock on wood, with rehab and all that good stuff. So and then Max Melton should also return, which we kind of speculated, concussion protocol. So Max should be back. The bummer, Will Johnson we'll see how this week goes. I would think he's out another week. So getting some reinforcements back. I have not heard on Mac Wilson Sr., but I think the Cardinals are going to be in a better shape defensively than offensively. There's some stuff that's going to, emerge here on the practice report the next couple of days, but the defensive line looks better, and you're going to need it because they're going to try to run Christian McCaffrey, and they're going to go play action with George Kittle. So, but yeah, the biggest thing is Walter Nolen will play again this year as soon as on Sunday.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of a telegraph, and you can just kind of read the tea leaves. They worked out a trio of defensive backs this week. So they clearly believe that they're not going to be at full strength, or at least kind of going to create a break glass in case of emergency here. But it's good and bad news. A lot more good than bad. So we'll take that in the current times we're living in as far as being Cardinals fans. Coming up next, can we find any Cardinals or things surrounding the organization that are trending up, or is everything trending down? Find out next. PHNX Cardinals.
Well, I'm trending up with our friends at Factor, because Factor is the kind of lifestyle from a food standpoint I have been waiting for. We're very fortunate. We've tried Factor, and we're like, sign me up. We've been a Factor subscriber member for seemingly since the first time we did this show together, Bo. They've done a fantastic job. They've got back to school, busy routines. They can help clean up all that with easy to cook, and I'm talking easy, microwavable meals that can support your variety meal goal, your wellness goals. And then they've got global flavor, which is bold flavors, Asian inspired, Thailand, a ton of good stuff right now. 90% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthy lifestyle. I'm testament to it. Both tell you how many times have you called me, I'm eating Factor meals. My wife and I both love it. When we do the air fryer for our kids, chicken nuggets, we're eating Factor meals. Eat smart at factormeals.com/PHNX50 off. Again, you're going to get 50% off plus free breakfast for a year. Get that first box right now, half off on your boys. Offer only valid for new Factor customers. I promise you it's worth it with a code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase.
Driving in Phoenix can be unpredictable. From dust storms to bumper-to-bumper traffic, the last thing you want to worry about is your auto insurance. That's why so many Arizona drivers trust Access Insurance Agency of Arizona. For more than 15 years, Access Insurance Agency of Arizona has been proud to provide affordable auto insurance for drivers throughout the Phoenix metro area. Trusted part of the local community, Access Auto helps Arizona drivers get covered with flexible policy options and commitment to working with all types of IDs, driving histories, and license types. With bilingual Spanish-speaking agents at 9 convenient Valley locations, Access is ready to help customers find the right protection and uncover valuable discounts. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions are applicable policy. In all insurance, the current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policyholders meeting in the underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply.
Hit that like button. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube, Bo. Let's do some trending up, trending down if you're game.
Let's do it. Also, make sure to, I see we've got a new supporter in the chat. Sign up to become a supporter today for the low, low price of $4.99. Join the supporters club. It's true sicko level stuff for the real ones, the OGs, the real ones, the official supporters club badge. You get to fire off the emojis like the Johnny Chug, like the head slap Bo, Shazam, the dubs that are raining every time you watch a Suns game now since about a week ago. How about you get the Phoenix, you get the live. I mean, you got all the options, plus so many more perks. Don't miss out on it. It's the best way to support PHNX. Thank you to tuning in, listening to PHNX. Become a supporter today.
Trending up, trending down. We do it every week. Let's get to it. I'll go first. Bo Brack. Trending up, a little tongue-in-cheek, trending up to a new regime in some way, shape, or form. Offense, maybe a complete coaching staff, plus GM. Change is trending up. That would probably have been a better signal, but I wanted to get a little bit more specific. Change is coming. Yeah. So as frustrated as you may be with these press conferences right now, I mean, like, this is just not sustainable. This is the NFL. Change happens at a blink of an eye, and this is a results business. And when you are this poor in your division consistently, when you are this poor against winning teams, when things have imploded with members of your roster, just Brian Dable gone, Kevin Stefanski gone, Mike McDaniel gone. Guess what all those guys did? They went to the playoffs at some point as the head coach. This regime has a lot of heavy lifting to do the last 8 games. Draft pick is trending up right now. We're going to get to it later in the show with our quarterback rankings, but 11th as it stands right now. I think this team's going to win a few more games, but I also think, if you had to ask me right now, I think they're destined for a top 10 pick. I thought they would be more toward the middle of the first round. If you had asked me again, I think they end up between 8 to 10. And then here's a player, Elijah Higgins, good player, really good complimentary option to Trey McBride. 6th rounder, they claimed him. He's done a nice job. Hey, guess what? You probably didn't need to also get cute and draft another tight end when you had 2 very capable receiving tight ends. And spare me, people who have said, well, the reason that they can't control the line of scrimmage this year is they haven't had Tip Ryman. Give me a break with it. Come on, guys. Like, Tip Ryman played earlier this year. They couldn't run the ball. They can't run the ball after him. Elijah Higgins can at least catch the football. He looks really good after the catch. So best 2 skill players right now offensively could be the 2 tight ends. Bo, you're muted, my guy.
Tip Ryman on the mend. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
He's on the road to recovery. No slander allowed at this point.
I like him as a player, but like, let's use it. See how many holes this team has right now? It's like, let's use a top 100 pick on a blocking tight end. It's like, no, that was a bad choice.
I see like it trending this week, the regime thing. I don't think ownership, decision makers are as eager to pull the trigger on that at this stage. There's a lot of football left between now and.
Well, I'm suggesting, like, if things continue at this pace.
I get it.
You get blown out 35-0 in an NFL game.
Right.
If you look bad this weekend, it's like, I can't really do anything for you guys.
Yeah. It's look, yeah, you can't have more non-competitive games, and there's a couple teams on the schedule that are fully capable of doing that.
That's right, Ramon. It's oh my God, we got to have our blocking tight end to save Jacoby Brissett.
Let's go to my trending up. Here we go, Noah. Denzel Burke, 2 picks in 2 games. I know you kind of ride the wave, the roller coaster with Denzel Burke. You get the good with the bad, but 5th round pick with picks in back-to-back games. He, of course, had the PBU against CeeDee Lamb. I like what I've seen from Denzel Burke. I think he's somebody that's trending in the right direction overall. Denzel Burke, 5th round pick out of Ohio State. Then I got out my chalk, and I just this needs to be a tribute to Trey McBride.
Chalk boy.
11 straight games with 5 receptions or more, a feat only accomplished in NFL history by Travis Kelce twice and Tony Gonzalez, 2 guys. One's already in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The other's going to be. Pretty elite company for Trey McBride, who continues to just do it at the highest level we've ever seen from a Cardinals tight end in ever, Johnny. In ever, actually.
Ever.
And then, as you mentioned early in the show, yep, it's up. It's at an all-time high, potentially. Rage bait.
Rage bait.
You couldn't find a time in Cardinals history where rage bait might be at its peak. It's right now, as the team is dwindling and not performing, and there's a bit of a quarterback controversy with, you can't deny it, like it or not, whether it's deserved or not, a polarizing quarterback at the forefront of it.
There are people who are so pro Kyler Murray. We just put out a tweet about Jacoby Brissett, yards downfield, completions over 20. I'll get people legitimately, they're like, you're disgraceful. You take down that pinned tweet of you and Kyler Murray right now. It's like, go touch some grass, friends. You are a disgrace. You disgust me.
Ooh, you got Jacoby fangirls over here. I'm looking at the stats. They're telling me one thing, friend. That's all we're doing. We're just informing you.
Let's do some trending down. Yeah, that's right. Touch a little grass in 2025. Let's get to it. Trending down here. It's going to be ugly. Baron Browning looked awful on Sunday. Couldn't keep containment. How many tackles did he miss? Hey, remember last year when everybody was like, Baron Browning's really good, all the pressures? The Cardinals recorded the least amount of pressures in an NFL game in 3 years. Baron Browning started for this team. Baron Browning doesn't get sacks. That's confirmed now. On a defensive line with 2 players that are going to have double-digit sacks, Baron Browning is on pace for 4 sacks. So everybody, you can write apologies to this show as we outlined at last year's trade deadline that this was a reach and he is not a startable player. Special teams also trending down. They lost their punter, so it's a caveat. The new punter stinks, under 40 yards per punt on Sunday. Get him out of here. Jeff Rodgers, why can't anybody field a flipping punt? What's going on here? Let's just fumble every punt and kickoff that we have going on. I meant kickoff, but you know what I meant. And then overall, team health. It's not going well. Again, coaches have to coach. We don't make excuses here. A lot of guys going down. The good news is Will Johnson, hopefully he'll be back in a week or so. Walter Nolen, but they've got some other injuries that they're going to have to navigate here in the next week.
I like that. I don't like it, but I agree with it, I guess I should say. Mars 311 saying Ojulari's still not close to playing. Good question. He is now, I think, officially going into his 2nd week. He's going to be 14 days and change as far as his 21-day practice window. So they have, I think, until next week to push it. We'll see what BJ Ojulari, if he can push, being activated this week at home against the San Francisco 49ers. I do expect him to be activated. I think he's going to play this season. In what capacity is he going to be? A guy that starts on teams and then cracks a very small role as far as the outside linebacker rotation, probably. But I expect Ojulari here to be in the at least active in the next 2 games. Let's get to my trending down. So Ojulari's health trending up, not trending down. Future quarterback clarity. I think this was yours last week. I think it continues to get murkier by the week. When you have, 2 strip stacks from Jacoby Brissett, and you think, hey, could he at least be a bridge, a stopgap guy? Can you even trust him with that? You look at this quarterback class, they're riding the roller coaster as well. What's the free agent class, or what's the quarterback market going to look like? Just no clarity on that. So The future of the position, it's pretty rough right now. We've talked about it. It's been kind of the theme of the show, the most disappointing position group of the Arizona Cardinals in 2025. It is the offensive line play, and it hadn't been any worse in the last 3 years than it was on Sunday. Some people somehow can try to argue that. That was not the case. It was the worst performance we've seen. 27 total pressures, 50% of the dropbacks from Jacoby Brissett. He faced pressure. The offensive line, rough performance, trending down, and they've got to find a way forward with the current group. And then the defensive front, after its best performance, arguably, on Monday night in Week 9, they had probably their worst performance on Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks, where just 13 measly dropbacks. They got 1 measly pressure in the passing game, and then they got their soul just removed from the run game, where they ran it against them 12 times and bullied them up front as far as the Seahawks did. The defensive front, much as I like that group, they had their worst performance on Sunday.
Can't argue with any of it. I love it. We're coming back around the corner. Your super chats. Plus, we debut our 2026 draft QB big board. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit that like. It's PHNX. I'll tell you where you're not going to want to miss this deal with Desert Financial Credit Union. You're going to open up a free checking account. You're going to get $200 in bonuses. Go to desertfinancial.com/200 to get started with a banking institution, a credit union above all else. Again, get exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams, including the Arizona Cardinals, ASU, Northern Arizona University. Rep them all. It's because for more than 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union. I've got it. You should too. Anytime I need to talk with somebody, they've got a team of financial experts committing to helping their members, their community, and offering financial solutions that make lives better. Again, open up a free checking account online, $200 in your account. Bonus is ready to go. Go to desertfinancial.com/200 Bo to get started.
Who all has dabbled in Crown Royal? I have multiple times. So is Johnny. So is many of you, because it's delicious, right? You get those purple sacks, those bags.
Yeah.
Now you can take those royal purple bags and you can use it towards unbelievable cause with Crown Royal on November 16th, State Farm Stadium. That's right. Coming up this Sunday, Crown Royal believes it's not what you have, it's what you give. So when it came to honoring the bravest among us, American military heroes here on Veterans Day, thank you, veterans. Tip of the cap. Thank you so much. We wanted you to do more than simply just raise the glass. And that's always a good gesture, but you can do more. And it's driven by Crown Royal's ethos of generosity. And since 2010, Crown Royal has packed and distributed over 1 million purple bags and counting for soldiers and veterans, providing them with essential care and comfort from home. They continue their commitment in supporting military heroes with the goal of packing 2 million bags by 2030. Let's do it. Let's help them get there. Consumers in attendance at State Farm Stadium will get their chance to pack their very own Crown Royal purple bag with snacks and handwritten card. We work with packages from home, send them individuals that are serving across the entire world. For more information, visit crownroyal.com/purple bag project. That's crownroyal.com/purple bag project, and join us this Sunday, November 16th, in giving back in the best way possible.
Time to take a break from this sorry-ass team and look ahead to the future. The Arizona Cardinals will no doubt be in the market for a new quarterback, maybe some new offensive linemen, but we're going to
see Johnny. We're having another Kyler K1 crash out in the comments.
Sorry. Yeah, so my bad. Everybody will be back. Everything's fine. Everything's totally fine. I'll tell you what. We're going to debut our quarterback big board here, and I'm liking what I'm seeing. That's right. Bo, walk us through this phenomenal graphic done by one Noah man.
That's right. Noah was in the lab today working on this 2026 NFL Draft QB tracker, and Dane Brugler dropped his top 50 today that had many top prospects in there. Our guy Fran Duffy is an absolute sicko and already has 215 prospects ranked, and has the info and scattering reports up at gophnx.com. His draft guide is live. Highly suggest you do that. Become a diehard. You get access to that. Bless you. Daniel Jeremiah, he's being a big fat lazy guy, bag of bones. He's got nothing. Thanks, DJ, for nothing. Mel Kiper Jr. is already getting after it. He's got some key just rankings on these prospects. And then PFF, top 480, Trevor Sikkema, you sicko. Look at these. So we start to look at these quarterbacks, guys, and I think the consensus would say it's not Fernando Mendoza who's getting kind of top ranking, even though you can kind of see it go between Mendoza, Dante Moore, and Ty Simpson, who the Simpsons are on the rise.
I mean, I have my personal preference. I think Mendoza is the best quarterback in this class, and I certainly think he fits the type that Jonathan Gannon would want. But, I mean, there's a lot to like in this group. I think you can break it down in a couple different categories. I think I think the biggest project on this board is Lenora Sellers. I don't think that can be argued. I think he's got the most erratic tape, and I think he is the least polished. That being said, I like his traits. I like his tools. Obviously, Fran Duffy likes him a lot. Let's see what he does. Again, if you told me he had a rise like, you know, a poor man's Josh Allen, like that wouldn't shock me in terms of being a raw prospect. But if you told me that there was some Anthony Richardson in his game, like that wouldn't shock me either. I think the biggest concern with him is, you know, inaccuracies, where the touchdowns, right? And then on the flip side is Ty Simpson a byproduct of, you know, what's around him? That concerns me as well. I like Ty Simpson in terms of like his box score, right? I like that he's winning, and I like the resume of a lot of Alabama quarterbacks coming into the NFL. But this is a different scenario. Nussmeier, to me, feels like a guy that maybe with a different staff, you know, Brian Kelly being fired, maybe he could have done something a little bit more. And you would have assumed he would have had success with Brian Kelly, but like, I don't know. That now he's probably one of the biggest wild cards. And then Mendoza and Moore are clearly the top two, in my opinion. You've got the measurables, the physical traits, the stats, they're winning, like they check every box. But Mendoza, for me, is the 100% favorite because of the fact that when you win in a program like Indiana, in the Big 12, which I think is right there with SEC as the superior conference, like I just think so much more of you. You look around the NFL landscape, these quarterbacks that are winning consistently, they're coming from these programs where you have to overcome adversity. Like Fernando Mendoza, I don't know, was he a top recruit? I didn't know about him. You didn't know about him. He's got one or two really quality playmakers, but 6'5", monster arm. He's got more mobility than people give him credit for. And then lastly, I'll just make a note on it, like Sam Leavitt. I like Sam Leavitt a lot. I would take him, you know, as a fringe first rounder. I just don't know if he's played enough college football yet.
Yeah.
But if he gets a good report, like I wouldn't hesitate taking him, like trading back into the first round. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of the draft analysts are not entertaining too much Sam Leavitt right now, not based on the prospect. I think they're going to try to see, you know, what his future, you know, plans are going to be. Like Brugler doesn't even have him in his top 50. And if he kind of felt like he was going to leave school,
right,
sure he would do more homework on a guy like Leavitt. So, you know, we put him on there just because he's somebody we're keeping tabs on. If this quarterback issue, if there isn't some sort of like resolution or, you know, path forward by the 2027 class, yikes. Yeah, we will absolutely look at Sam Leavitt. Mendoza, I'm not as sold on Mendoza. I mean, I was fully, you know, on the seat of my couch, on the edge of my couch, watching that comeback, that drive against Penn State. But you know, why do they have to have that drive to win?
Right.
And Mendoza threw a bad pick in that game. I think he's got a high floor. I think he's got a low ceiling.
Okay.
Sure. He's got 6'5". He's got the tools. I think cerebrally, he's good. I'm just not sold on him being, I think he could be like Jacoby Brissett. I think he could be a Jacoby Brissett type player at the NFL level. I'm not set on him. Like I'd much rather have a higher ceiling than that. That's why, like, I get intrigued by Lenora Sellers. I do. Like, I see, like, could he
7 passing touchdowns, bro? You like that?
I know. Look, in South Carolina has been an absolute just they've underwhelmed. They've fallen short of expectations. But like you get lost in the tools, and I think he's going to be a top 15 guy just based off his tools.
Wow.
You hope to not have to be the team to make that like decision, right? Because of the recent history where you see Anthony Richardson not be productive at the NFL level. Like we're in overtime. Noah's just hitting it. He said, go to overtime, joke.
Stop talking about a guy with 7 touchdowns. We got to go to overtime. I don't know. When was the last time a guy came in the NFL and had success that didn't put up good college numbers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I let somebody else take Lenore Sellers. Maybe I'll change my mind. I think Ty Simpson is the safest. I think he's got not the safest, but like I think he's a high floor guy. I think Ty Simpson probably come into the NFL and just be a solid starter. Like 6'2", 6'2.5", right around 200 pounds. Got a little bit of mobility, right? Like just I think you're probably going to get something. I think his best case scenario is like a Dak, right? Or somebody like that. Or Mendoza, give him a little bit more credit. Like, I don't know, like how many quarterbacks come into the NFL and just completely miss when they're this efficient in college and they're 6'5"? I don't know. I think and he's a true pocket passer. Like he wants to be able to sit back and throw the football downfield unless he has to. I mean, he had like 5 passing touchdowns against Illinois this year. They're a big time program now. So let's get that back up on the screen. I mean, if you had to rank your guys right now of this group, let's assume Levitt declares. What is your top 5?
I'd probably go Simpson.
1 or 5?
1.
Wow.
Moore, Mendoza, Sellers, Nussmeier.
Okay.
I'm not including.
We're going to exclude Sam Levitt. Okay. Yeah. I would go Mendoza, Moore, Simpson, Nussmeier, Sellers. That would be my group. Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore are in a category of their own. Ty Simpson is in the next tier, and then I would put Nussmeier and Sellers in a lower tier, in the bottom tier.
Yeah.
Which is the correct ranking, I believe. A lot of people think that.
And according to Aiden, he thinks I nailed it.
Wow. People are like on Twitter, they're like, why are you talking about quarterbacks already? I don't know, because this team doesn't have 4 wins and it's November. and they're feuding with their quarterback and they put him on IR and he was healthy. That's why. And
they're not even feuding with their quarterback.
That's right.
I think all parties, like we've said,
you're right, for sure.
All parties see the writing on the wall, and I wouldn't be surprised if K1's camp wants to try it elsewhere. The baseball stuff's ridiculous.
It is. I think I've come around with the idea. I think they could get a pick for Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I think depending on how Jacoby Brissett finishes this, I don't think it's a long shot that they sign a quarterback in free agency on top of this. I don't think it's a given. I heard something earlier today. Thank you, Mo. Appreciate that. Heard something earlier today. I don't think it's a given that Jacoby Brissett is just handed this to start 2026. Let me just put that out there.
Okay.
Now, what the hell are you doing? I have no idea.
Right.
Justin Fields, they would want no part of, right? Mac Jones is staying in San Francisco. They're saying he's more valuable than a mid-round pick. I would agree with that. Like Purdy, you can't trust him with his injuries. I mean, like, is there a name, not to get off topic too much, is there a name at quarterback that you could see them entertaining? Maybe it's a free agent, maybe it's not. Like, how would you feel about, like, now I'm not even going to say it because people will be upset.
You're not going to say it?
No.
Come on.
I'm not saying they would do this.
Uh-huh.
Maybe they would. I don't know. Geno Smith for Kyler Murray straight up. Is that something that you think they would entertain?
Would they entertain it? I think they would entertain it just
from a contract standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, Gino, he signed that extension. Like,
people are pissed in the chat.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, man. It's so tough out there on the quarterback streets.
I would never post that online.
Right.
I can't even say that in my own damn podcast without people freaking out.
Yeah.
We're spitballing here, friends. What's Geno Smith's cap hit?
No, he's one of those guys. If he gets traded, Vegas, they're not on the hook for really anything, and I think he makes like
26.
26.
So it's basically half of Kyler's contract.
But what do you do? Like, you don't want to watch him play. He can't play. Here's an interesting thing that comes up to me. It's like I'm hesitant to say it.
Do it.
But I think like a Jared Stidham is somebody that they would like.
God. Bro.
But he's a backup. Like, you're gonna have to get.
I think they're gonna look at free agent starters.
Yeah.
I think they want Jacoby Brissett to be the backup again with a rookie.
Sure.
Kirk Cousins, he can't play anymore, right?
Right.
His arm's gonna fall off.
Yeah.
I mean, like, here are the free agent. This is bad podcasting. QBs 2026. You guys ready for this? Daniel Jones.
We're putting ourselves out there having this conversation. It's never going to be pretty.
But I'm not saying this is what we would do. I'm trying to think of what is the team going to do.
Yeah.
And I got a text message today saying, like, don't assume it's just going to be Jacoby, right?
We never assumed that.
I mean, we might need to.
We thought at the very worst it was going to be Jacoby and a rook.
Well, no, and I think don't assume like Jacoby by himself as a veteran. Flacco, Pickett, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Daniel Jones. Good Lord.
What if
you're getting a pick for Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
That's great.
Let's look at some of the other volatile quarterback spots in the league.
Okay. I like this. Bengals don't have a quality backup. Browns have a bunch of guys who can't play. Not Steelers with Rodgers. Ravens, no. Jets, no. Patriots, no. Dolphins, who's the backup to Tua?
It's
Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
I
don't think there's any way.
JJ McCarthy for Kyler Murray straight up.
Yeah. There's no way that Cowboys could trade Dak. That contract prohibits it, basically.
Well, you're thinking like starter for starter, fresh start for both parties.
Not necessarily. Like, I'm thinking who's the successor, who could be. Like, we're seeing articles out there about
this right here.
Lawrence. I think Lawrence is one of those guys where, like, he's not as far down the road in his extension to where I don't think the Jags can trade him.
He is bad.
Yeah, he's not great. The turnover he had at the end of the game to lose to the Texans was bad.
Jacoby Brissett's got better numbers than Trevor Lawrence.
Spencer Rattler.
My God. We're talking about scenarios, all of which would get them fired if they're not fired already.
Yeah.
How are they
going to JJ McCarthy, who Amadeus brings up here? He's so cringy. He called himself 9, like that's his alter ego. He's got a different persona on the field. It's like, 9 was horrible on Sunday. JJ,
he'll be out of the league soon. He'll be done. What about
like Jordan Love?
No,
they're talking about Matt LaFleur being on the hot seat.
Shut up, Packer fans. You don't know anything about anything. You've never felt pain before. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't know shit. We're in overtime. I can swear now.
Yeah, Ramon's saying so. We're basically tanking. That's the thing. It's just that's how tough it is out on those QB, the quarterback market.
They have to win next year to keep their jobs. Who's going to help them win? Which is why I understand when people are like, you should keep Kyler Murray, but they're not going to do that. How are they going How are they going to win next year in the NFC West? How are they going to do this? Are they going to trade up for a quarterback?
Like how high do you have to get? Like you have to get up high.
How many wins are they going to finish with? I'm going to revise I said 7. I'm revising to 5.
If they get to 5, if you look at Tankathon right now, I mean, some of these teams aren't going to either A, win another game, or B, win multiple games.
They could lose to the Falcons, right? They play the Falcons. All right. I think the Cardinals let's assume, hang on. Here we go. Let's assume they lose this weekend. Maybe 3-7. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the Jags 4-7. Are they beating Tampa? At Tampa?
No.
4-8. Are they beating the Rams?
The only one they could get is the finale if the Rams have nothing to play for.
My God. I think the Rams will have something to play for, seeding wise. Let's say 4-9. Can they win at Houston?
Yeah.
5-9.
Like Houston's not better than some of the teams they went toe to toe with.
Are they beating the Falcons?
I guess the only thing that Houston, like, they do have the Cardinals kryptonite, like a good pass rush. So maybe that game could be bad.
All right. Well, let's say they lose that game. 4-10. Are they beating the Falcons?
I think they can.
5-10. And then are they beating the Bengals with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati in December? I think you'd have to be a little skeptical of that game right now.
Yeah.
All right. I think at best, as we walk through this, 5-12.
Yeah. Look, Tennessee's at the top of the draft board right now. They're probably going to at least see one more year. Cam Ward, couple him with a coach. Saints, they're probably in quarterback business, regardless of burning a second-round pick on Tyler Shuck. Correct?
You played well on Sunday. Couple teddies.
Are they going to be in a position to draft a quarterback and not? Can they afford to do that?
Maybe. Their roster's terrible. This is what I look for.
The Giants don't need a quarterback, right? Cleveland needs one. The Jets need one. So at the very least, you're looking at 2 teams ahead of you. Vegas needs one. There's 3.
Yeah.
Miami needs a rookie quarterback contract.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Washington, they'll probably win some more games, be outside the top 10. Not great, but
Bengals are winning some games.
Bengals will play themselves out of the top 10.
Look at the teams.
They're a little closer. Like, first off, like, you need the prospects to play themselves into being, like, you need 4 to 5 prospects worthy of being first-round picks.
Look at the teams in the teens. No one's jumping up. Dallas, Baltimore, maybe the Vikings, but they're too well coached. Houston, Carolina, Kansas City, San Francisco. None of those teams are just suddenly going to start losing. So then it becomes which teams ahead of you are going to start winning. I think Atlanta's got a couple more wins in them because that division. The Bengals and Washington, I would agree. Miami's showing life here at the end of the year. I think the Cardinals will pick, I said between 8 to 10 to begin the show. Let me revise that. They're going to have a top 7 pick here. How can you trust them right now? I don't trust them.
Right.
Then we're going to start talking about Bo. But here's the thing. Then the answer is easy because if we're talking about 5 wins, they're not must win anything because no one's coming back. I think it's almost like Jacoby Brissett wins them enough games, then Jacoby Brissett will be the guy. But if Jacoby Brissett doesn't win them enough games, then we're done. You're done, son.
Yeah.
You're 4 or 5 wins. Slow play this bad boy with the draft and no expectations next year because you got somebody else coaching this team.
Yeah. Let's get to these super chats. You guys are crushing it. You did it all afternoon long here in the chat. Let's see who we've got to start. How about Nothing Better to Do became a member? Thank you, Nothing Better to Do. You did find something better to do, and that's become a supporter of PHNX Sports and PHNX Cardinals. Appreciate you. Just start to fire off those emojis. Have at it. Darth Vader, if you fire Petzing or let him go, who takes his place?
Well, we broke it down yesterday. I know that like Stefanski and Dable have connections to this team right now. If you're Monty Ossenford and you're trying to save your job, you go big.
Brian Dable, I mean, coach of the year, guy, obviously track record of developing Josh Allen. He was on his way to develop Jackson Dart in a sense. Like, people didn't believe him as a first-round quarterback, and I think he proved to be the right choice.
Think about what Seattle did. They went and got a Clint Kubiak, who's been a coordinator.
Yeah.
The Cardinals are like, hey, Drew, you want to call plays for the first time?
Gannon believed in Drew Petzing as a play caller. Right or wrong. Sorry. I mean, to have conviction in your people you've been around and thinking he could be have the chops to do it and then doing it and failing. I'm not gonna say it was wrong. I mean,
he had an opportunity to pivot last year and he didn't.
Right. But I'm talking about the initial hire.
Oh, sure.
Johnny, time to visit Rally House for a Wildcat hat.
I would love to. Absolutely. Well, what I can also do is I can go to the studio, PHNX Sports, and steal a Brandon Bills Wildcats hat. Like I may or may not have stolen this ASU hat. I think I have a U of A hat. I'll wear one tomorrow. I can jump on both sides of the fandom. I love my guy Eric Rubin, and I love my guy Sweet Baby Damon Dog. So I have no allegiance here. My university is not in Arizona. So
I can firmly say this without even talking to him, that they don't respect you for riding the line of ASU U of A.
You know, if somebody would gift me, or maybe my co-host, the PHNX Cardinals Brandon Bills hat, I would wear that all the time. Yeah. Never seen that. I'm not sure that hat exists unless it's at gophnx.com. Pick it up.
Our guy T. Cleary has it. We've seen it. Short stack gobbling, $4.99. I just don't understand the media strategy. Always saying everything is fine when we all know it's not. We watch games. We know the line sucks.
Not this media. Not this show.
Yeah, I think that people have a false idea of what press conferences are about, though. It's not for me to sit there and debate Petzing. You can press him, but if he's going to give you an answer, he's going to give you the answer. He's not going to change his answer.
No, you're soft. You're a soft boy.
I am. Yeah, Charmin soft. But hey, it's not a conversation. It's not a sitting down. It's not 60 minutes. It's a press conference.
This is who Drew is. This is who JG is. There's a little JG has authenticity. Unfortunately, we're not seeing it right now. Steven Jackson's been a member for 2 months. Holla! Thank you, Steven. Beat San Francisco this week, and I think 8 to 9 wins is attainable.
Yeah.
Loss, those should trigger a full-blown tank job for a high pick. I agree with that. It's going to be very difficult for them to win this weekend.
Yeah. Got the Montgomery Burns avatar. Maybe he's endorsing Ty Simpson's Desert Vulture, $2. Draft 2 quarterbacks.
Joke.
It's not a joke. I'm just connecting dots, Johnny. That's all I'm doing. Draft 2 quarterbacks. Sleeper Cole Payton out of North Dakota. When was the last time North Dakota? Is it North Dakota? Is not even North Dakota State? Is it?
I'm guessing he means North Dakota State.
Okay.
And then Desert Vulture comes back and says, can we draft an offensive coordinator? What do you think about my theory that they need to fire Drew now to get a head start on looking for a new OC?
I don't think it's going to matter either way. I mean, just let him continue to either bury himself or fight for his job, coach for his job. I don't think you get a head start.
Can I
to talk to the to other people about being your OC right now. Like, I think Dable, first and foremost, regardless if it's, naive to think he he'll probably interview for head coaching jobs, not get one, but he'll probably interview.
Can I throw something at you before we get off the air that I've been thinking about? Do you think we both believe that Jonathan Gannon doesn't want to fire Drew Petzing, correct?
Yeah.
We think that, and the rubber's going to meet the road. He's going to have to fire him, or he's not going to be retained. We've talked about it ad nauseum. You don't get through this season unscathed if the regime is brought back. On top of that, it's bad optics to say, well, it's just Kyler's fault, we're going to trade him. You just say Kyler, Drew are both gone, we're starting fresh. Do you think there will be animosity with JG when that inevitably has to happen with the fan base, the media, knowing that he's close with Drew? Because I feel like that could be a problem. And I'd be really disappointed. Because it's like, if that's how you feel, if you really are like, I don't want to fire Drew, I believe in Drew, then maybe this is not the right job for you. Because clearly right now, it's like, how can you, and we're not there every day, but like, how can you ignore the product on the field and the regression? Suddenly all the offensive linemen are bad. And I don't know. I would love to see some self-awareness by JG. Just been like, love you, Drew, not working out, bye. Like, he didn't blink an eye firing those defensive coaches last year, and we were like, what's going on here?
Right. He's going to be forced probably to do it. That's
not how you want to enter a make or break year. Right?
Maybe he's not going to be forced to do it, but like if there's any reluctance, there's going to be money, there's going to be ownership that are going to put the pressure on and say, if you want us to keep your job, this is who has to lose their job.
This is very popular via Jalen Blair. Cardinals will be the 2025 Giants, won't make the playoffs. JG will be fired at the end of 2026. They're to get back in contention and to make the play. They have to make the playoffs next year, or they're all fired. And that's going to be the theme of our 2026 Little Fanboy Pod. You're going to have to make monster swings. And I just think you're going to have to get a Dable or a Stefanski to come in here and coach and call your offense. That is the first brick of 2026. Drew, you are done. We are getting somebody who's been a head coach or an established play caller to come in here and fix this so we're not embarrassing ourselves 44-22. And then it's going to become make sure the offensive line is in good shape, make sure that you keep people healthy. Maybe you have to fire your strength and conditioning person because this has been a disaster. And then on top of it, you're going to have to be able to scout quarterbacks, which Monty Ossenford and these scouts that they've had, they have not done a great job. So, but I think the first box you have to check is to get an established play. We can't be sitting here doing an emergency here, Pod Bo, in January, February. And it's like Cardinals have hired Joe Blow wide receiver coach from the Browns, or hey, Kevin O'Connell's, janitor and his facilities could be your OC. We can't be having those conversations.
Right. No, you can't. Because then it just gives you PTSD from what you've already witnessed, training camp throughout this season, where it's just going to be the same.
More super chats. You guys are crushing it. Brian, $2, has been a member for 2 months. We love you, Brian. Yeah. If it doesn't matter what QB you bring in, they're getting killed behind this O-line. Need to draft 2 or 3 O-line in the first 100 picks. Well, you're going to have enough capital. I think they need receivers and skill players too. That's why I like the Kyler trade. You need some return on that. Are you trading up for a quarterback? I actually think, Brian, I think they're going to have to overpay for an offensive lineman in free agency for the first time in their tenure. They have balked at that. Gannon told us, in not so many words, he's like, you can either overpay for somebody in free agency or you can have Isaiah Adams ascend. And that's when he was high on him.
Yeah.
They're going to have to, their top free agent prize this year will be an offensive lineman. But I'm with you. Then they're going to have to add a tackle or guard, quarterback. They need some dogs at receivers, some versatility, some touchdown scores. There's a lot on the to-do list.
A lot longer list than we anticipated, right? Short stack goblin, 199. I mean, from the Cardinals' perspective. Trying to think what his last super chat was.
I don't know. I'm not
Moving
sure.
on, we'll try to get back into it if we can find it. LVL7. Gannon's offensive philosophy is weak. You have to let your quarterback let it rip and turn the ball occasionally if you're going to have a top offense. That's what Kurt Warner's talked about. Like, he threw 22 interceptions in his MVP season because he had that kind of gunslinger mentality. He knew that he's going to more than make up for the mistakes he made. You can't be so risk adverse that you don't take and rip it and play kind of a little loose and take, try to take some shots. So absolutely.
Gannon has to self-scout and look in the mirror and look at Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald is everything that a defensive head coach should be in 2025. Be aggressive.
Yeah. Level 7 or LVL7. Gannon. I'm sorry. I've been on y'all's ass this pod, but it's all love. Just seems like we're making backwards move. We haven't built an offense QB. The offense QB can be successful in. No doubt about it.
There's no identity without the O-line, and so when you strip that away from Drew, he doesn't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They're lost.
And we appreciate it. This is not a podcast where we all want to hold hands and agree on things.
We're not smooching here. We're throwing haymakers when necessary. Short stack goblin means from a Cardinal perspective when, like, I agree. We talked about that seemingly like every Monday after Bo's at the press conference. Just like, these are just bad optics, guys.
Yeah,
like, you got some authenticity would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I worry that maybe they're being coached that way. Be Austin Ford with the New England mindset, but that again, none of that matters when you don't win. That doesn't mean shit when you're not winning and you're not hosting Lombardi. I mean, you're not even going to get to 500 this year.
Right.
You have no leg to stand on. Your fan base knows you got blood in the water. Your draft picks aren't playing well, or they're hurt, and your coach is under 500. You can't win in the division. You should be pro Cardinal fans trying to re-ingratiate yourself with them.
You're hitting the dating scene thinking you're a 10 when you're a 2.
I had somebody text me that is pro Gannon,
mm-hmm.
and is not on social media and got on social media today, and he could not believe how many people want Gannon fired. And I'm like, I think like, you were in Dallas talking to people with Burgain Travel, and they were telling you this. And people who maybe don't watch the show, which is hard to believe, and people who aren't on social media are out on this regime and want people fired.
There's been a lot of losses, and then there's just not a lot of. There's not even lip service. There's nothing that they're not even telling people what they want to hear. They're withholding information. So and the fan base believes that they can't trust the organization along with the losing. So
that's a big problem.
That is a big problem. That's not lost on me. I see that. It's something that they're going to, even if they start winning again, it's something that's going to have to change. Just as they need to mature and develop and win football games, they need to mature and develop as far as how they message to their fan base, because it's football and it's entertainment. And if the fan base doesn't trust you, if they don't like you, that's a big problem.
January is going to be interesting. We're about 7 weeks away from Judgment Day for a lot of people if this continues. Hit that like button. Easy, no steroids. I've lost all faith. Well, this podcast is here to work you through it. They have a lot of talent on their team, unlike 2022, 2023. They've got good players, and the right people can turn this around. Do they have the right people?
Quarterback thing, though,
so bad.
It makes me nervous. That makes me really nervous. I mean,
like, this division.
Like, if one quarterback that is worth shit somehow becomes available and a team has to move off, like, you have to be the most aggressive team for that.
But like, that's what people think about Kyler Murray, though.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, like, no one's trading for Tua. The Cardinals aren't trading for Tua.
Right.
But
that's not. I said a good quarterback.
I mean, who's trading their quarterback though?
Right.
Would you trade for Michael Penix?
No.
Would you trade for JJ McCarthy?
No. They're the same. They've got the same issue. They're just not gonna be successful starters in this league. Doesn't look like it.
Geno Smith.
Stop. Don't you say Geno Smith one more time. Even Jacoby Brissett was offended when people called him like low.
Jacoby is better than Geno Smith,
you know.
I think.
Yeah.
I think he's better. You would have to go, yeah. But Fareed saying draft a quarterback. With this regime, though, rookie's not. I mean, could a rookie come in here and win?
Could you? Let me ask you this, because we're already at 90 minutes. Does this team have the gusto? Does it have the testicular fortitude to be outside striking distance, looking in the draft, and to be aggressive if one of those teams is not quarterback hungry and is willing to trade out? Are they willing to do what it takes to get up the draft board?
I think so. But the question then becomes, do you trust them to develop, and then do you trust them to send off future draft capital? Because if you have to trade your 2027 first rounder to get a quarterback, and you fire Gannon, it's like, who's taking this job then? No first rounder. That you'd have to. If Brian Daboll's the offensive coordinator, yeah, go up and get somebody. If Kevin Stefanski, I know people hate on Stefanski. I like Stefanski as a play caller. If you get a play caller worth his salt, yeah, go up and get somebody. If I got Drew Petzing running my offense, no, thank you. I've seen that dog and pony show already, and it's caused a lot of losses. But you're going to let Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon use multiple draft picks, go up in top 10 after taking Tip Ryman in the third round, after taking some of these players, after having
a quarterback. It's for a quarterback.
Well, we know that Clayton Tune, Colt McCoy, Desmond Ridder. Honestly, like I would feel more comfortable trading up for a quarterback if it was a new regime and they were like, we love this guy, we're going to be tied to him. But I don't think that's we're going to have more games like we saw Sunday for Gannon to be fired.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any way Monty gets fired. I think I'm at that point right now. I think Monty Ossenfort is safe.
Joe Shane kept his job.
When you can hobnob with these owners.
I mean, it's the same situation. It was the same situation in New York.
When you can spend time with the owner, and Bidwell loves Gannon, but when you can disassociate from, well, that's not how I would use Marv, or that's not how I was sold on we were going to use this player. It's like Monty Ossenfort is going to get half a decade as the GM minimum. I feel pretty confident about that. Nico Harrison.
How about Shams tweeting out? It's like, Nico Harrison is going to be fired at 10 a.m. this morning. There's a meeting to fire Nico Harrison.
I love it so much. I love that. That's the kind of stuff. Black Monday is going to come. Do you think if they lose this weekend, the heat's going to be turned up on this coaching staff?
The heat is on right now. That a non-competitive loss like that to drop to 0-6 against the division opponent, the pressure's on. Like, this has become a bit of a must-win when you're 3-6 in a season. Those don't exist.
They got the third best odds to be fired next. His odds have jumped Mike McDaniel, so not a good sign.
Daniel beat Buffalo, and it's like you can stop the bleeding on a lot, right? You can win 2 of 3. You can win a division game. You can beat, even though I don't feel like they're a 500 team, but in the standings they're 6-3. You can end that skid. You haven't beaten, what is it, 0-9 since last year against over 500 teams. Yeah.
Not going to have a full deck this weekend. They're going to have to do it without it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I understand the reference there, Noah.
It's talking about the Eagles. Did I do like a Eagles reference there?
I know who Glenn Frye is. I didn't hear the reference. Wow, this show.
The heat is on.
Yeah, there it is. That's right.
Of course, our infant producer knows all the classics.
All right. Well, here's the good news. We're back tomorrow with Brian Baldinger. That'll be ugly. Baldy going through that tape from Sunday. He'll have some takes.
Yeah.
If you ask him, he doesn't think this staff could return. And got more good stuff. We're going to hear from Jonathan Gannon tomorrow, correct?
JG, I'm sure he's going to deliver more bad news tomorrow morning. And then at practice, we'll hear from Jacoby Brissett. And, Baldy. And then we'll continue to kind of monitor some key players here. Yeah, Sports Hero Baldy is going to tear us a new one. Don't want to leave the show without saying this again. Thank you to all our vets out there, veterans on Veterans Day. Hopefully you're getting taken care of by your friends, your family today. You deserve the best. Thank you so much for getting us as a country to do these silly podcasts and silly things. You give us the ultimate freedom. So thank you so much to the veterans out there. I know we got a lot of people who watch this show who served, and we're big fans of yours.
Appreciate all of you. Hit that like button, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Big thanks to Noah Man crushing it today behind the scenes. Again, subscribe here. We're almost to 50K. Help us get there. People asked, by the way, watch-alongs are going to continue. Bo and I are going to be in studio watching this Nightmare World on Sunday with all of you. So we appreciate you all. Again, thank you to the veterans out there. Happy Veterans Day. For Noah, Bo, I'm Johnny Venerable. We're back on Wednesday. Take care, everybody.
We all silly like the mayor.